there we go with another set of experience. This is using virtual manipulatives and e-sheet that I was talking about. And we'll use the same concept of equivalent fractions, okay? What are virtual manipulatives? Manipulatives are something that you use your hands to manipulate with. But since there are many virtual and digital applications available, so you can use, digital applications to replicate the same physical experience, or sometimes maybe enhance physical experience to include, the dynamism of the digital, for example, the interactivity of the content with the students. You can increase the interactivity by using some of the virtual manipulatives. It depends on how you use it. So I can give you gold and you can, not use it, and I can give you trash like this small paper and you can use it and do wonders, right? So it depends on the skill of the teacher, basically how they maneuver. So virtual manipulatives and e-worksheet can be, combined, and e-worksheet basically can be used anywhere but I'll show you how to use it with virtual manipulatives. So I used a Google Sheet to develop this e-sheet, and I embedded the questions and links, and a resource, and we'll dock at this point.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so this is
Yes.
an interactive app
Yes. Now
that
we
I'm
can.
using. Yes. Okay. So this is like we'll try to build a fraction wall, okay? So this is one, and the question was how many 1/4 make one whole, right? So 1/4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Four.
So 4 1/4 make one whole. Now, if the question is, so students can play it on their own. You can share this link and the students will be able to play it. Now, how many 1/4 make 1/2? And you can see here
Two.
that
Two.
two, right? So basically, and now the bigger question could be, what if, okay, the bigger question could be, how many halves and 1/4 are needed to make
One
one? One half,
one half and
two,
one
One
fourth.
half
One
and
half
two
and two
quarters.
1/4.
yeah, and it becomes really visible, right? You can
Yes, one half.
also replace this 1/4 with something else. What could that be? And if you see the
Two half.
fraction that,
1/8.
Two.
1/8.
Two
okay,
four.
perfect. Let's do that.
Two halves.
1/8, 1/8.
Two many.
Okay,
Or we can represent it, replace it by 2 4 as well.
2 4, 2 1/4.
Yes,
Was
2/4 or 2 1/4.
2 1/4. Yes. So 2/4 is not there in in the fraction list. It's only 1/16, 1/12, 1/10. But yeah, we can do that. You're absolutely right.
We
So
can
can
use
you
4/16 as
exactly? So now can you see how much thinking that this little exercise is building, and how interactive this can be? And you can use this to build a wall so that the students can see. Okay, so, and if I put like 1/4, now do you see the problem here in this one?
Yes.
yes,
Yeah,
one by
what is the
three,
problem?
one by
It's
It
three.
is
ex
not equals to 1.
Yeah, it is
it's
not equal to
exceeding.
1. It's exceeding. Excellent.
1/3.
So what should I do?
So we have to use 1/2.
1/4.
1
1
by
by
One
4.
by four.
1
1
by
by
4.
4.
Okay, and then you can build this kind of hierarchy to help students understand,
Yes.
um, how this thing goes. And I will leave it up to you to play around. And this is only one virtual manipulative, and I've shared with you multiple of them. So then they can do something, some exercise like how many quarters
We
make
can
one?
do this also activity by sharing pizza, like cake.
By sharing
2
what?
over 4.
Sorry,
I'm
Pizza.
saying we can do, or we can introduce such type
voice
of
is not
fraction
clear.
by sharing, like for example, cake sharing and pizza sharing, because students are interested in such type of things at this level when we are introducing this fraction. Because number will make
That's
obviously
yes, it's good idea.
students will become upset. Like by sharing such type of activities, students are interested to like sharing pizza and cake equally among friends. We can introduce such type of fraction by doing this.
Perfect. And that's what I had it.
Good
Actually, you
idea.
predicted the next uh, section, which was equivalent fractions using pizza and all. Right?
Yes,
So
as you
I
did activity by sharing a paper, I did also the same activity in my classroom by sharing paper pizza. And I have
ex-
brought different paper pizza. And I have given my students that you have to divide, like for example, between two friends and among 7 friends or 6 friends like this, and they enjoy it a lot.
hmm. So that's another activity right there for everybody else to note. You
Uh,
can use paper pizza
Zina,
to.
okay, Zina, I want to add one more activity.
Uh-huh.
We can do it physically as well, and in the online classes as well. We can use a chocolate as well. It is already divided into equal pieces, so we can use it as well for this. We have done
Correct.
it in our class, and students really enjoyed because all love chocolates. Most of the students love pizzas and chocolates. So there are different. I think we can use this activity.
I love it too.
Yes.
So yeah, I love chocolates. So when you talked about chocolate, I was like, my brain went to chocolate in the fridge that I've kept. Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. So you can use pizza, you can use chocolate
So it
example.
is an icebreaker as well.
Right, exactly, right. So just so we have, so I'm not sharing some practices that are very new to you, some practices that, but perhaps we all do these stuff. What I'm trying to say is even we can do it in the online environment, and some of us have tried it in online environment. We can use pictures of things that are not there, like if pizza is not possible, we can share the picture of pizza. And a colleague of ours shared that she did paper pizza, so we can do paper chocolate, and we have like umpteen number of ideas to go by, right? So really enjoyed this interaction with you all around the equivalent fractions. I would go back to the slides. Do you see the slides on my screen at this point?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So again, most of these principles were reflected in the activity that we did. Like if we would have done that Google sheet, there was thinking because there were questions, there was association with prior learning because, and there was manipulation, so there was interactivity. And since I had like first sheet as numbers and fraction bars and whatnot, and the second activity was around pizza party between the two friends, so it is transferring to the real life as well. So when you are planning your classroom lessons, and as you already some of you do some of the strategies you already you use, you might have learned one or two new, but this gives you a framework to fit what can be added and what can be enhanced in your own lessons. So there are some more resources that I've shared. Feel free to skim these, use these in your classrooms. There are some digital games that I've shared in my presentation, and I want you to write a quick write for me, which is like one sentence for each of the questions. Why do you think, now that we have discussed about active learning being very important and how it is done, why do you think it is important? And then what one strategy would you take away from the session that you did not do before? So I would like to read your responses at this point. And thank you. Okay, and I'll put the question in the chat so that.
Yeah. Zinar, just a very quick question.
Ma'am,
Would you
please
like,
show the previous
Amna, my
slide
colleague,
again.
to paste your handouts link here? Active learning while physically distancing in the chat box?
Sure.
Okay.
So I would ask, so it is, all the links also are embedded in my slide. So if you click just control and click that, it will take you to the link, right? So, but I'll post that link as well so that you can, somebody has already posted. Thank you, Amna. Okay, so why do you think it is important to use active learning? And what one strategy are you taking away?
Okay, we can see a few responses here. Kiran Vasif has written that active learning promotes recall and deeper understanding of material as students are engaging with the content. Muazza Sultan has written active learning is important because we're not physically there. So, to get the right boring lecture, we can do the activity type of learning. And Malika has written she will use storytelling. Mm, and definitely, one of the participants has written that they'll use the virtual manipulators to engage students. And they're talking about to enhance students' creativity. Manur is saying, I will take Google Docs. And it also enhances their interest in the studies and the subject specifically. And also, when they're talking about friction, it's a good activity. One of the participants is appreciating. Thank you, Zinar. And yes, so there's another answer here that it reinforces important material concepts and skills in the students. It provides more frequent and immediate feedback to students. That's correct. I think that's really aptly covered. Kids these days know so many things already, and there's so many options to learn. So I think it is very important to ensure active learning these days. That's one of the
Right.
main reasons. Yeah.
Excellent. I think you have grabbed some key ideas from the session. And I was reading the chat as well as Tuba was sharing our thoughts and collating them. I would say I can conclude this session by saying that um, what I feel, what I hear from the group is that active learning is fun and engaging and meaningful.
Yeah.
So these three things that I think can use to sum up the overall experience that you are sharing with me. And also, I think that there are some of the strategies that you are taking away. What I'm hearing from you include Kahoot, which I did not use, but perhaps one of your participants have used it or one of your facilitator will have used it. So you are saying that perhaps Kahoot can also be used to promote active learning, but also the activities that you're borrowing from this session include um, the Google Sheets, include the physical manipulatives, includes hands-on activities, as you say, virtual manipulatives, and storytelling. I wish you all the best as you embark on your teaching post attending this workshop. And thank you, Seema and the team, for inviting me on this session.
It was a pleasure, Zinar, to actually attend your session. It was a short one, very interesting. I've never had taken interest in maths, but I was forced to actually pay attention to what you were telling us there. And I think it was very natural. It came very naturally.
Thank you so much for watching, and please find the links to all the virtual manipulatives and the resources in the chat below.